Hi, friends. Welcome back to the Crush to Rush podcast. And today we're talking about something that feels a little behind the scenes, but has a huge impact on your business. And that is email. It's one of my favorite topics because here's the truth. Most people are using email like a broadcast channel. You're sending the same message to everyone. You're hoping it converts and you're wondering why it feels like so much work for so little return. But what if your emails could actually feel personal and work in the background to drive consistent sales? Today, I'm joined by CHERYL, an email strategist and automation expert, and we're breaking down what it looks like to build an email system that converts without constantly writing more. So we're digging into why an automated email journey actually outperforms newsletters, what your welcome sequence actually needs to be doing, and what's changing right now with AI and deliverability that you need to know before you hit send. Do not write another email without listening to this episode. If you want your email to feel less like a chore and more like a strategy that actually works, then this episode is for you. Hi, CHERYL. Welcome to the Crush the Rush podcast. We have had you on the list to be a guest on our show for so long, and I feel like the day is here, and we're talking about one of my favorite topics, which is email, and I just can't wait to pick your brain.
All right. I can't wait to chat email with you. I've been looking forward to this for a while.
Yeah, thank you so much for being here. I want to start with a question we ask everyone, and that is, what does building a life-first business mean to you right now?
That is my entire philosophy on business because I started this business when my babies were born and I no longer fit into the regular workforce easily, right? I had 3 babies, each slightly less than 2 years apart.
Yeah.
And it's just, I had to create my own solution. And so I've built the business from the jump around being able to, a kid's sick, just shift what I'm doing, work from different locations. I'm also kind of just a lazy person, and sometimes I wake up and I just don't want to work today. I like a business where I can choose that. Yeah. But my old self thinking back to working a real job, that's mind-boggling. That I don't really feel like logging on today. And so for me, what that means is really embracing automation and ways of leveraging my work so that I can still be successful, but without having to put in that effort 100% the same every day because I just don't have that capacity.
Yeah. I love the flashback to working. I call it a real job. And I always say I have no idea how I wore work pants and heels every day.
I know.
It sounds ridiculous. And I'm just how did this happen exactly? And so now I'm I have jeans on today. I'm oh, I have real pants on today, but I don't have shoes on, and I don't ever wear shoes usually. So it's just crazy. Yeah. I'm how did we do this for 20 years? I don't know.
Well, when I was pregnant with my first, I still had a job, and I was sick during my pregnancies. I was throwing up every day, at work. I still went to work.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I look back and I'm I have a slightest thing now. And I'm man, I'm not working today.
Right.
And I love that. I love that. And that's why I created this business, is so I could have that flexibility and really just leveraging tools and making sure that all of the work you do can do it without you and carry it forward. So that's my favorite part.
Yeah. So good. Okay. We're going to dive right into email. And the first question I get quite a bit is, a lot of people treat email like a broadcast channel. So we talk a lot about email. I have a specific formula that I follow and I like to teach, but a lot of my clients or listeners kind of treat it I'm just going to send an email out to my list this week, or I'm just going to write this one email and I can check the box that Holly said to send an email, right? So let's talk about why that is not the best strategy.
Well, you and I agree on this. We may have different ways of solving it, but we're on the exact same page, because going back to the life first business, that feels like more work to me.
Yeah.
That feels like busy work, right? I just got to send an email for the sake of sending an email. Please do. It's good for your deliverability to be consistent. So sometimes you just got to do that, and that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
But if you can create a more, like you said, it's a broadcast channel. Instead of that, create more of a conversation and think about, I'm always talking to my people about, rather than what you feel like saying in this moment, what do your people need to hear? If you can flip it, then you can write way more impactful emails that are actually going to affect your bottom line and create more sales, because we're not just here to email for fun,
Right.
right? Like we're here to make money. And the way to do that is to lead more of a customer journey through your emails rather than like one-off situations about like what you're up to this week. You can still do that. I get some pushback sometimes when I'm talking about changing how they look at email into more of a custom journey. And I like to automate that. And people are like, well, I like to tell them, what's going on in my life or what summits I'm on this week and stuff. I say, sure, do that as well. Because the only thing better than one email a week is 2. And the only thing better than 2 is 3. So like, go ahead and do that. But rather than just like blasting them all the same thing, really think about what they need to hear.
Yeah. So give me an example of how you might plan that or how you might think about what like an email sequence would look like. That's very like psychology driven or customer driven in terms of like, what do they need to hear versus you giving a life update?
Yeah. So that's what I teach in my program, Automate and Chill. We really need to first do some research because we think we know what they need to hear, but oftentimes we don't really know what they want to hear, or we have something slightly off, or we're using the wrong language because we're too close to the problem. We've been solving this problem for people for a long time. And so you really need to take it to people. And I recommend people do a little bit of client research, like voice of customer research a couple times a year, if possible, just to keep that fresh and learn to pay attention in the spaces you're in, right? The comment sections or the threads that you're in, and start paying attention to the language your people are using to describe what they're experiencing. So it all starts with first knowing what they need to hear. And then we like to like reverse engineer that. Okay, what's the goal? Each email should have a job. Like, where are we taking them? Are we going to sell something soon? Are we going towards a launch? Are we, is it a funnel? What's the point? Like, where are we headed with this sequence? And then you can reverse engineer from that. Okay, so the goal is they buy, this $47 offer. Great. What do they believe about that? What do they think about that? What objections do they have? What do they currently feel is a solution that would be better than that? And we can come up with all kinds of topics. And I guarantee when you work backwards like that and you make a list of those questions your people have about the thing that you're going to sell, like in a few weeks, you could probably write 10 emails answering those questions. It makes it so much easier than sitting at your desk and going, crap, well, I need to send an email. What am I just pull something out of my butt and send an email today? That's harder, actually, I think.
Yeah. That's so smart. When you sit down to plan something like that, how far in advance are you writing and what does that look like?
I think that depends on the person and your strategies. Like for me, I teach automation. So we're doing that as a project and we're automating a whole year of emails. Eventually we can work in small cycles of them, but we're building an automation so that when new people join your list, everyone's getting that red carpet treatment and they're all getting to hear what they need to hear at the time they need to hear it. But not everybody is into automating the way I love to automate everything.
I'm into it. Like share
live
all
stuff.
Automations. I'm into it.
Well, it goes back to that life first business thing, right? You write a really good email, it can live on. People who haven't met you yet get to read that email too. So I really like to use that. However, some people like to do more live writing, like writing in real time or launching and stuff. And I think you just need to plan your sales. Like where are you taking people to throughout the year? Map those milestones like on the calendar and what your plan is. And then figure out, make those lists of what they need to hear. What do they need to feel? What do they need to be forgiven for? Like, what's something that they've tried and failed at in this? How can you get on their team? So there's so many things that you could talk about in advance of that. And then you sort of let the content, like your ideas and what they need to hear, drive the timing. Like, how many emails is that? How many do you need to write to help them feel that way? And so I think it really just depends on your sales schedule. And then you can make the plan. You don't have to write all the emails.
Yes, I love that tip. Yeah.
Depending on how you like to work. Yeah.
For me, it's really helpful. I call them like mile markers on the calendar. So like if I know launch is coming up, it's like, okay, it's 6 weeks away. Like what are the things that I need to talk about? Those can be my topics and we sort of like work towards it. But there's no way that I could sit down and map out the plan and write all the emails at once. So I think that's a huge takeaway, like such a good
you don't have to do them all. I do like batch writing, but I think it depends on someone's personality and work habits because not everyone's the same. I like batch writing because like once my brain is like in it, I'm in it. Like, and
Same.
I try to stay in it as much as possible. So I may not write them all, but I'll write as many as I can. Or sometimes when you're writing an email, it's getting a little long. You're like, this could be 2 emails. You can split that up. So I like to batch write, but it's not for everyone. So you don't have to necessarily. Some people want to write on the fly.
Yeah, so good. Okay, let's talk about actual sitting down to write, whether it's batch writing, whatever it looks like. AI is a huge component in running an online business right now. Let's just talk about email and AI. Like, what feels important to know? What have you seen in the industry? Let's start high level and we'll dig deeper.
Oh, there's so much to talk about with AI, isn't there? And it's all changing every day.
Literally
let's
every
talk about
second.
Yeah, with email, there's 2 important things to talk about. Well, 3 that are kind of related. One is AI is reading our emails for our readers. So that's one side to look at. And then another side is us using emails to write, or using AI to write the emails. And then number 3 is the spam filters using AI to filter your emails. So there's kind of like AI's all up in everything right now. And it's sort of interesting. But the answer to all of them really, to me, just always leads back to basic foundations. So I'll explain more what that means. But just first to get on the same page with what AI is doing about reading your emails. Well, that's changing too. But, Gmail has the preview, the Gemini preview. Apple Mail last summer came out with, you can turn it on and off, but in Apple Mail, it will replace preview text with a summary of what the email is, which breaks my heart because I love preview text. That's my favorite place in an email.
Because sometimes they're wrong. They're like not even close. And then I panic that I like missed a dance deadline or something, some parent email that was totally not correct.
The Apple ones haven't been that accurate. Actually, I haven't had them turned on for a while, but they were not that accurate. And I released a training last year on how to help that. And one of the ways you can help it be more accurate is get to the point faster in your email, or at least tease or allude or use a keyword at the top of the email. So if I'm telling a story about a failed launch, and I was talking about how, it was a rainy day and I was looking out the window, and then, like each story, and then I get to the point at the bottom, which is storytelling, which I love to do. Now, like, hint about a failed launch at the top in the first 3 to 5 lines. If you can get to the point faster, AI will pick up the meaning faster. However, that's what I noticed with Apple. But now with Claude Cowork and stuff, making lists and summarizing and reading your emails and all up in there, I haven't noticed the same summary problem. It's way more accurate.
That's good.
So I don't know if we all need to stress about how we're writing the email for the AI readers and that much, because it's getting better.
Yeah.
But it's just something to consider, is that your readers aren't always reading the email themselves, or they have another layer between them and the decision to read the email. Like, I have Cowork set up to go through my inbox and make me a digest each day, letting me know things I have to reply to, but also my newsletters, because I teach email. I'm always reading email. I'm on everyone's list for fun. Like, I like to read email because I'm looking for inspiration or cool stuff people are doing. And I host email diaries, which is an event you've been on. So I'm always looking for good emails. So I have Cowork flagging ones that I might want to go and read, like really good ones for me. Now, the other side of that is we got to be good email citizens, because I'm still going into my inbox and opening all those emails before I delete them, so that I don't become a cold subscriber and they remove me from their list, right? Like, it's important for us to go in and open or click.
Yeah.
Because when Claude reads your emails, it's not opening the email. It uses the API. So it still shows unread. So you may have enjoyed the summary of the email, but the creator isn't getting the credit for that. So we need to be good email citizens, and give people opens and clicks if you are enjoying what they send on a regular basis. That was a little side tangent on AI.
No, I love that. And we talk about open rates and click rates all the time. And that's so interesting that in this new world of how we read things, it's not going to count as an open. So interesting.
Yeah. So you actually do have to go and so I just open it before deleting it if it's something that I maybe don't feel like I need to read today, but I like the creator.
Yeah.
Like, I want to stay active on their list, or just make sure I'm reading at least a few of their emails. And then just, people might be panicking about that, be like, oh my God, people aren't going to read my emails. It goes back to the foundation of just writing good emails. And if you focus on what your people need to hear, they're going to enjoy your emails and they're going to look for yours.
Yeah.
And so that's the focus, right? Is being the person they look for in the inbox. So that's the first thing about AI. And then the second thing is deliverability, which I'm an expert in, and that can be a blessing and a curse to know all the stuff going on behind the scenes. Of course, Google and Yahoo and Microsoft have AI all up in their filters. Their filters and algorithms are so smart, and they're looking for patterns always, spam patterns. And spam doesn't mean like spam like Viagra pills or Nigerian prince you're related to left you money. That's spam for sure. But what they consider spam is you sending emails that your people aren't interested in, right? So making sure we clean our list, because if you are emailing a lot of people who are not engaging with your emails, that shows them that you effectively become a spammer, right? Mm-hmm. As well as they're looking for patterns. Anything spammers do becomes a red flag. And we accidentally do it as creators because we're in our own little bubble and we have good intentions. So it's not even on our mind. And where that comes in with AI is, who do you think has really adopted AI fast? The spammers. Mm-hmm. Over 50% of spam email is AI created. And so AI patterns and AI language can increase your chance of getting flagged. Does it mean you will? No, of course not. Everything's changing every day. These algorithms, they are tweaking them every day. Like they're changing constantly. So there isn't any like black and white rules with this. But it really reinforces to me that we need to be really discerning when we're using AI to write, that we are putting our human touch on that. We're editing it enough. We're sounding like us, not only for the readers, because that matters, but also so that we're not falling into these patterns that AI has.
Yeah. Gosh, that's so good.
It's crazy, right?
Talk to me about using AI to write emails.
Yeah, I guess everybody has their preference with, like, I love writing. So for me, I use AI as like a thought partner to come up with ideas, to refine ideas, to poke holes in ideas, to edit things, to smooth things. If I'm like, this sentence is not working, can you help me? But I don't love to have it do the whole thing for me. Sometimes I will. It depends on how high stakes the email is too, right? Like an event reminder, who cares? But, a storytelling email, maybe I'm writing that myself. So I think we all have to find our flow with it. But I would caution everybody to make sure to take the time to put your human stamp on it before it goes out, because email is so high on the ROI of all the things we're doing in our business. It's something that deserves your time. Like, it's really worth it, because two things happen when you use too much AI. That, first of all, the filters are going to notice. You may not get like in the spam folder or not, but it's happening. And then the second thing is just your readers are glossing it over. They're tuning you out, because there's this voice of AI that even when you've trained it really well, you can still feel it. It's still beneath the surface, and everyone's kind of starting to sound the same. Like, have you noticed? I'm kind of bored online right now.
Yeah.
All the social posts sound the same. The emails sound the same. Everything's the same.
I love how you shared that you use it for brainstorming, not for like the writing. So like I use Claude, but like, and I have it help me. I have a weekly newsletter I send out, and I have sections in the newsletter, and I have it help me like brainstorm the sections, and like it will prompt me questions of personal stories. And then it's like programmed to use my words and my stories in those sections. So like you said, the boring part of like, go click here or whatever, like it's writing, but like the actual story part, it's taking what I gave it and then like putting it in the format. And so I think the more you can keep that like human piece, the better.
Well, it's the way to stand out right now.
Yeah.
Which is crazy to say. It's, you'd think it's backwards. It's that you get to stand out. Like, kind of, I feel like too with copyright, which I love copywriting. I feel like AI stole so many good copywriting frameworks and overused them. So now we can't. Like, I look at some of the stuff I wrote before AI and I'm like, oh no, it sounds like AI. I have to change that now. So, I think we've had a switch from trying to be really slick and smooth with our formulas and our frameworks and everything to now I feel like when we dumb it down, it's better. Like, when we're just like, if there's a typo, they know you wrote it. Like, it's fine, right? It's kind of backwards. It's kind of crazy. So sometimes what AI will give you sounds so good. The words sound good, but it's really just word salad. Like, it doesn't mean anything. And when I'm editing students' emails, a lot of the times I can remove like 40% of the words when it's an AI written email. Like, most of them are not necessary. So just being discerning. So whether you're like, you have AI write the first draft and then you heavily edit it with your voice, or you do the opposite, you write it, have AI just like edit it up, make sure you're in that workflow.
Yeah. I love that.
Yeah.
Any other tips you have to make like maybe an automated sequence or even just an email that you're planning ahead feel more human?
Yeah. So number one is the research and making sure you're speaking to what people really need to hear, right? You're connecting on a human level with what it is they're thinking, believing, feeling, all those things. But in just a practical sense, my number one tip before you send an email, just read it out loud.
That's a great tip.
Just read it out loud and then stop after every sentence and be like, would I say it that way? Especially with AI, because sometimes when you're reading it on the screen, it sounds like something you would say. But when you say it out loud, you're like, oh, I wouldn't say it quite like that. And then just write how you talk.
Yeah. So good. That's such a good tip. I always feel like in elementary school or maybe it was high school, when you're like proofreading your paper or like practicing, they always say to like read it out loud because that's like how you talk. Yeah. And that's like such a great
imagine tip. You're looking at like eyeballs like a human being.
Yeah.
Or read it to someone or a dog. I don't know. Read your email.
Yeah, I love that. I want to talk a little bit more about the tools that you're using to create emails. Like what are some of the favorite tools that have helped you?
Oh my gosh, there's so many tools out there. My workflow is pretty simple. I write in a Google Doc or Claude, depending on what we're working on. I like to write in a Google Doc because I like, again, going back to leverage, I like to keep stuff and I'm just comfortable in there. That's just where I like to write. My personal email platform I use is Keep, which used to be Infusionsoft. It's a big CRM. It's not one that I recommend for everybody, but it's like my ride or die because for automation engineer, like there's not much I can't do in there.
Yeah.
So that's my baby. But like I work in a lot of email providers with clients and students from Kit to, Drip to all the different ones, ActiveCampaign. They're all great. You just got to pick the one that works how your brain works and fits your budget. What other tools am I using? It's not really a tool, but I love to use Liquid Code for personalization within an email.
Oh, talk to me about that. What is that?
It's how you make content dynamic inside an email. Not every platform can do it. Like Flowdesk has a more basic email platform. They don't necessarily have that, but Kit, ActiveCampaign, Drip, Keep, they all do. We just use a block of code to show different stuff to different people based on their custom fields or their tags. So for example, one of my favorite ways, like in my welcome sequence, I'm telling a story and I ask them to click on something to identify, what they identify with the best. Because what I'm doing is segmenting them on the back end based on what they're clicking. They're getting a tag. And I have a program that teaches tagging. So in the PS, I'm like, hey, if you want to do this, you should probably learn more about segmenting and tags, grab my program called WTF tags. But if they already have it, because some people buy it before they even get to my welcome sequence, it says, hey, you already bought this. Have you logged in and done it? So it'll show two messages to people, whether or not they have a purchase tag on the back end. It's just a little bit of code you put in your email. Yeah. I have like a little mini offer that teaches how to do it, but some programs make it easy right in the email builder to do it. Most of them have some way of conditional content to show, but that's really fun to make people feel special and like you notice who they are and where they've been.
Yeah.
I know you've purchased from me and I'm reminding you to make sure that you're getting a result from that thing you bought. So it's kind of fun. I love that. Then there's tools that I haven't bought, but I have my eyeballs on,
Yeah.
So like there's one called Write Message. I don't know if you've heard of that one. It's a more expensive tool it's not for, people starting out. It's, I don't know, for $100 a month or maybe something like that. So it's for people who are more serious with their email list. It's conditional content to a higher level that actually goes on your website too. So based on their tags in your email program, if they click through the page, they will see a different message on the page as well. And there's like a pop-up surveys for your website that actually is getting segmentation information and adding it to your CRM. So it's kind of like a two-way street with being able to segment and personalize things on a deeper level. Yeah. So that's a fun one. I haven't dove into it yet, but it's fun. Like, I'll probably get that.
Like we have pop-ups and we're trying to like tie the pop-ups to like the specific topic, but it's manual right now. Like we're doing the manual research and that one sounds super fun.
Yeah. And it can like redirect. It's pretty fun. Like it can redirect things or show a different message, based on their tags. Like the headline on the sales page can be different for different people. But again, I believe with tools, you need to make a plan. Like the best tool can't fix a broken plan. You got to make your plan first before investing in setting up a tool. Otherwise you spend all this money on these tools and they're not going to get you a result. So I think you need to, make your plan, see how it's going to give you an ROI, and then get the tool. So that's what I'm trying not to get ahead of myself and grab the tool first.
Yeah, no, I love that. I want to get back to just email. And I mean, I'm going to ask the question about trends, but I do feel like your personality should come through first. But like, what are some of the things that you're seeing in email trends that are like working right now, or like tried and true email tactics that have really helped your students, I mean, turn leads to sales, which I think is what everyone is looking for.
That's why we're here.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm pretty on it with the trends because of my event called the Email Diaries, which is twice a year. So I'm asking like 25 people twice a year what's working.
Yeah.
And this last season was huge on segmentation and personalization, actually. And then the one before that was mostly clicks and replies, like everyone's just getting that engagement. And I think all of these things are really important, because if you can't teach your people to click and reply to your emails, they're not going to click when the sales emails come. Like even just from the jump, we have to train them to, or train, that sounds terrible. Teach them.
I say
to
train
speak
too.
back.
But I'm like, you got to get used.
It kind of is.
Yeah.
But not train like a dog, train like the gym,
Yeah.
like we're talking about humans here. But to have a conversation that you are a person that you do want to hear from them and that you will reply and those kinds of things. So, polls are always really fun. So gamification too, making the click fun and getting people having a good time and a little less serious, I think is a big trend right now. You'll see people doing all kinds of fun things with polls. You could ask them a serious question and ask for a reply. People replies the scariest of the ways that they want to interact with you. When they hit reply, like that is a big deal. So if you ask them a big open-ended question, you're going to get fewer replies. If you say reply with cactus or palm tree, then they just reply with one word, they're more likely to do it. So making it easy and fun to do, or those polls, because you can make it almost like a quiz, like the online quizzes we fall into, or like old, in Cosmo magazine, we used to do the quiz or whatever. Like, so if you can make it fun, but you're still getting an interaction for, deliverability purposes, teaching them to click, and then also you're getting that segmentation information on the back end. That's some of my favorite ways to do it, is try to make it fun.
Yeah. When you talk about segmentation, what's some of your favorite, or maybe give us one strategy around segmentation that our listeners could take away?
Yeah, so when it comes to tags and segmentation, tags have a lot of jobs. They're not just for segmenting. A lot of them are like to trigger this automation, or they've purchased something. But I think with segmentation, when we're talking about personalization and how we're speaking with them, you're really looking for intent. Like if we're looking to get to the sale, you're looking for what are they interested in? Maybe that's like the topic, or maybe that's the stage of awareness they're in. So if you can get them voting, like vote, which one are you? And you're asking it, and like, are you the one who stares at the empty Google Doc when you're trying to write an email, gives up and goes upstairs and like reheats your coffee for the 6th time? Or are you the one who gets bored and goes and scrolls on Instagram? And then whichever they tell me, then that's how the story I'm going to use in my launch, or put on my sales page, or whichever, right?
Yeah.
Like sort of but making it fun and relatable, instead of like, I could have said, what do you do when you sit down to email? Do you avoid it? Or do you go looking for ideas and never find them?
Yeah.
I could have said that, but if you can put like into the scene and make it really relatable, you're going to get way more people participating. And that kind of segmentation data is gold for when you're trying to make sales, is getting in their head, seeing how they relate to the situation.
So good. Okay. I'm going to ask a couple just like rapid fire email questions.
Okay.
I feel like we could just talk for hours. Like I love this topic so much. If you're wanting to sort of revamp your email strategy, what's one quick win you could do this week?
Okay. I'm going to give you an unexpected answer. I think what you're looking for is revamping it as far as what they're writing and what they're saying and what they're selling. But I'm going to go backwards and tell you to clean your list.
Oh, I love that. We just did that.
Because it's the number one thing that most people aren't doing that they need to be doing for a healthy email list. I raise people's open rates easy 10% every time.
Yes.
For most people, if they haven't done it. And then put it on your calendar and do it every month.
I get so nervous to do it, even though I do it. And I know it's like the right thing to do. I'm like, oh my gosh, like we just dumped 1,200 people or something crazy.
Yeah, I know. But listen, when it comes to deliverability, since all of those changes back in 2024, they take it so seriously. Like Google, especially Microsoft's the worst.
Yeah.
I mean, the tightest, like the the most strict, they take it really seriously, and making sure you're only emailing people who actively want your email and they're showing that by interacting with them is the number one thing you can do. And that actually will help your deliverability. So you will get into more people's inboxes than if you don't. So like blessing those people on their way, they can come back. It's 2026. They can just sign up again tomorrow if they want to. They can come back, just let them go. And by doing that, you're going to get seen by more of the people who actually want to see it. So it's the number one thing you can do this week that'll make a difference. I
love that. When you're sitting down to write your content, what's one thing that helps you stay focused?
Oh gosh, focus is not my strong suit. A good playlist? Like a good, like some good bossa nova beats or something, like something with no words.
Same, I have to have no words. Yeah.
A deadline helps me focus. I'm better with a deadline.
I love the deadline strategy. We were talking before I hit record, like today's podcast day. I actually have an appointment later on in the day. So I know like I have to get like 5 things done by this time. And there's like no time for anything else. Like we have to stay focused. So an external deadline is great.
External deadline and making sure, doing that, because there's that theory that like you'll expand to fit the time that you allow for it.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes I allow myself too much time and then I take too much time.
Yes.
So a good deadline helps for sure.
If somebody is overwhelmed by automations and systems, specifically when it comes to email, what would you tell them?
Focus on the thing that's going to help you the most. A lot of the times when people are overwhelmed about automation, what's in their head is that they're not ready.
Mm-hmm.
They're not good enough. They're not ready. They have to do all these other things first. And what I would present to you is like, that's the opposite of automation is for. Like when you send a broadcast, that email is gone. Like it's done and it's gone. You can't change it. You can automate some emails today and like tomorrow you can edit them if you want to. You can edit them in an hour. So it's like less serious than people think.
Yeah.
So just get something going, get some people in it and see what happens. You can always change it as you go. But I think the first thing, start with a welcome sequence. Start with that.
Yeah, such good advice. Okay, in 2026, as we're writing emails, last but not least, what's one thing we should think about before we hit send?
Reading it out loud. Let's do that.
Yes.
AI. Let's read it out loud.
I love that advice.
Say it like how you would say it. Because AI will say it and you're like, oh, that sounds better than I would. That's a red flag.
Yes.
If it sounds better than how you would say it, that's not you.
Yeah.
Say it how you would say it.
So good. I feel like there are so many strategies we could go into, but I tried to like tip the surface so that everyone will be like, I need to ask CHERYL these email questions. Where can they find you, learn more about what you do and all the amazing resources you have?
Yeah. So my website is my name, CHERYLRarick.com. I'm not on social much. You can DM me. I check them sometimes. I am definitely an email girl.
Yeah.
So jump on my list. That's probably the best way to keep in touch and hit reply and say hi and tell me what you're all about. I'd love to hear from you.
Yeah. So good. Thank you so much, CHERYL.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, Holly. It's fun.